the county governments. And the projected revenues raised nationally for the financial year 2024-2025 have been dropped significantly due to the revised revenue-raising measures occasioned by the rejection of the finance bill in a couple of weeks ago, 2024, by 346 billion shillings from the initial projected revenue of 2.9 billion. To revise projected revenue of 2,602 billion shillings. In this regard, the national government share of revenue raised nationally has been adjusted downward by 325.8 billion shillings. This shortfall in share of the national government revenue has been partly covered by the adjustment of the budgetary allocations to the executive and to the legislature and judiciary and the constitutional commissions in the financial year of 2024-2025. And in this regard, and in order to facilitate bridging the above financial gap, as well as to facilitate the national government to provide the resources towards the critical areas, the bill in its second reading, that the question is set to be placed this afternoon by the Honorable Chairperson for Budget and Appropriation Committee, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, is to provide resources towards critical areas. It proposes that the county government's equitable share for the financial year 2024 to 2025 to be reduced by 20 Kenya shillings 20 billion. And this translates to around 5.81% of the projected shortfall in the total shareable revenue. And clauses 1 and 2 of the bill provides for the Section 5.1 of the Division of Revenue Act of 2024 to provide for sharing of the shortfall in revenue raised nationally between the national and the county governments equitably. The clause also provides for capping of the proportion of revenue shortfall to be borne by the county government, which shall not be more than 15% of the shortfall. That is to ensure stable and predictable allocation of revenue in line with the Article 203 of the 2010 Constitution. The revised allocation of 380 billion to county government translates to around 24.2% of the last audited and approved revenues of the government for the financial year, that is 2020 to 2021, which is above our constitutional threshold of 15%. And the national government on its part will bear a significant higher share of the shortfall, amounting to 325.8 billion, or that is 94.1% of the projected shortfall of 346 billion shillings. And the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Moses Masika Wetangula, has walked into this afternoon session, the third session of the afternoon sitting, today being Wednesday, August, the session that is expected to commence shortly. Let's listen in.
Waheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umetua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tukusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tunakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na tujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote tutakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu, na wale ambao haja zao wamezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Do we have quorum? Kirui? Clerk? Honorable members, we have quorum to transact business. Clerk?
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Go on. Go on.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, August 7th, 2024, in the afternoon sitting. 1. The following statutory instruments and the accompanying explanatory memorandum, regulatory impact assessment and report on stakeholders' engagement from the Law Society of Kenya. A. Legal notice number 110 of 2024 relating to the advocates practicing certificate fees rules 2024, and B. Legal notice number 111 of 2024 relating to Law Society of Kenya General Amendment Regulations 2024. 2. Reports of the Auditor General Financial Statements of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund NGCDF for the year ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of the following constituencies: Banisa, Gem, Homa Bay Town, Karachuonyo, Kasipul, Kitutu Chache South, Luanda, Lungalunga, Mandera North, Mandera West, Muhoroni, Olkalau, Rabai, Rangwe, Rongo, Samburu East, South Mugirango, Suba North, Suba South, Suna West, Taveta, Tigania East, Ugunja, Wajir North, Wajir West, and Wundanyi. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay. Thank you very much.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock. Dr. Mutunga.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, 7th of August, 2024. This is the report of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on its consideration of the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next. Chairperson, Select Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 7th August 2024. Report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Senate amendments to the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Brighton Yegon, Konoin. Go ahead. Your mic is not on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm requesting for a statement regarding the expansion of Kamandura Maimayu Road. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of Kamandura Maimayu Road. Honorable Speaker, Kamandura Maimayu Road and the Maimayu Suswa Road serves as a crucial access to the southern Nyanza region and parts of the lower Rift Valley, including Narok, Bomet, and Kericho. The road is also used for transit of goods to Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Democratic Republic of Congo and Tanzania. In spite of the strategic nature of the Kamandura Maimayu Road, the motorists using the road, including the Maimayu Naivasha Road, frequently experience heavy traffic congestion, resulting in significant delays that frustrate commuters and businesses. The situation is worsened by the fact that the road is narrow and does not have an alternative route to divert traffic, particularly along the Maimayu escarpment. Over the years, appeal to the government to expand the Kamandura Maimayu Road and the Maimayu Narok Road and put in place more safety measures have not been implemented. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. Could a comprehensive report to be provided on the measures being undertaken to address the perennial congestion along the Kamandura Maimayu Naivasha Road and the Maimayu Narok Road in order to improve the flow of traffic and mitigate on-road accidents? Number 2, provide details on the budgetary allocation to the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENA, towards expansion, rehabilitation, management, and maintenance of spoiled section of the roads. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Sunguli.
Mr. Speaker, just in support of that request for statement, I think the Maimayu escarpment is becoming an embarrassment. When you go there, Mr. Speaker, you can spend about 3 hours locked up in traffic jam. Yet it is such an important road. Could the minister, in addition to just telling us what long-term measures are going to be done, also liaise with the minister in charge of security or traffic police, so that we know whether we can have a special way of managing traffic and managing those people who obstruct others while on that road. It is a very, very important statement that needs to be addressed immediately.
Chairman Rhodes, GK, can you manage in 2 weeks?
Hold on. Honorable Speaker, I commit to avail the statement in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks.
Okay. Honorable Martin Owino, Ndiwa.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson Departmental Committee on Health regarding the harmful effect of chemical agents such as tear gas and other irritants used by law enforcement agencies. Honorable Speaker, a recent demonstration led by young people often referred to as Generation Z have brought to the light pressing calls of substantial reform and the elimination of socioeconomic inequalities affecting the people. These protests aim at prompting transformative action from the government have been met with excessive crowd control measures by the police, most notably the indiscriminate use of tear gas and water cannons, which also extended to residential areas and primary schools in the close proximity. This has exposed vulnerable populations such as children, elderly, and those with pre-existing health conditions to disproportionate health risks. Mr. Speaker, scientific research has shown the exposure of tear gas and other irritants can cause a wide range of health issues, ranging from acute and long-term effects. The acute effects have been said to include severe irritation of the eyes, skin, and respiratory system, while long-term effects include glaucoma, blindness, respiratory failure, and even death due to chemical burns to the lungs. And canister injuries. Further, the law of war, Mr. Speaker, where far greater...
Order. Take your seat, Martin. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, Johanna Ngeno. Order. Honorable members. Order. Honorable members, in the event you have something to consult on, which is your right, don't disturb the House. I allow you to use the Speaker's recess room behind here, or you can go to the corridor or to the lounge. But please don't hold a kamkunji in the middle of ongoing proceedings in the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's as if I was not heard. Can I start again?
Start.
Thank you. The Speaker, Honorable Speaker, to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health regarding the harmful effects of chemical agents such as tear gas and other irritants used by the law enforcement agencies. Honorable Speaker, a recent demonstration led by young people, often referred as Generation Z, have brought to the light pressing calls for substantial reforms and the elimination of socioeconomic inequalities affecting the people. These protests aimed at prompting transformative action from the government have been met with excessive crowd control measures by the police, most notably the indiscriminate use of tear gas and water cannons, which also extended to residential and primary schools within the close proximity. This has exposed vulnerable populations such as children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing conditions to disproportionate health risks. Mr. Speaker, scientific research has shown that exposure to tear gas and other irritants can cause a wide range of health issues ranging from acute to long-term effects. The acute effects have been said to include severe irritation of the eyes, skin, and respiratory system, while long-term effects include glaucoma, blindness, respiratory failure, and even death due to chemical burns to the lungs and canister injuries. Further, in the law of war, where far greater leeway is given to the use of deadly force, the use of tear gas is banned, particularly under the Geneva Protocol of 1925 and the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1993. Therefore, its continued use of law enforcement agents, riot control agents, peaceful protesters. It is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson.
Members. Can we have your conversations in low tones? Member for Dagoretti, member for Embakasi, take your seats.
Sit down. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health on the following. Number one, an overview of the composition and concentration levels of tear gas and other irritants used by law enforcement officers and whether their use is authorized considering the concerns of their harmful effects on victims. Number two, a report on both the immediate and long-term health risks associated with tear gas exposure, with particular attention to vulnerable groups such as those with respiratory conditions. And last, Mr. Speaker, and very important, the strategies and measures put in place to safeguard public and the alternative mechanisms that could be deployed instead of tear gas or other irritants to manage protests, riots, or civil unrest. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Martin. Chair Health, Dr. Pukose, you've heard what my Honorable Wino is saying.
Thank you.
When can you bring a statement?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the issue that has been raised by Honorable Martin Owino, Ward Chief, who happens to be a member of my Committee of Health, is a weighty issue. And I think given 2 weeks, we'll be able to bring an answer to the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
2 weeks,
yes.
that's okay. Yes, Mayaka?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, just allow me to raise this particular concern. You had given instructions about 6 weeks ago that the Social Protection Committee brings a response on a statement I raised in regards to the matter of anti-FGM, but there's been no response to that issue, Honorable Speaker. This is 6 weeks later, so I'm very concerned about that. Thank you.
Is the chair social protection here? Owen, who is your chair? Is it Alice Nganga?
No, it's not Alice Nganga. It's what
who?
Is not Haika.
Yeah? The chair is Alice Nganga.
For integration.
Social protection.
Yes, Alice.
Where is she?
I had the cohesion.
Can you tell her to bring a response to Honorable Mayaka's statement tomorrow afternoon?
All right. Much obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Malulu Injendi. Honorable Malulu Injendi.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm raising an issue to do with a question I raised to the CS Transport. Mr. Speaker, I raised a question on A1 Road, that's Kakamega to Kabrengo Road, which is incomplete. There are no works going on the road. And I raised this question on 16th August of 2023. Mr. Speaker, after I raised the question, Parliament ended. We resumed again in February 2024. I raised a similar question again to the CS. And up to now, the Speaker, there's no response about that particular road in terms of completion.
Where is the chair roads? GK? Is it true you have been sitting on that statement from August last year? This is a year later.
Honorable Speaker, there is no statement we have kept for that long. I think I will interact with the member and get to know what could have happened. And then we...
Honorable Njende, can you approach the chair and see if indeed your statement is still pending before them? If it's not satisfactory, report back to me. Yes, Akucha. Is that Akuja?
Honorable Speaker, thank you. This is Honorable Namwar.
Namwar, yes.
MP Turkana Central.
Sorry, you are sitting very far. I can't sit you properly.
Honorable Speaker, before the day not to be remembered, I read a statement on the killing of Turkana fishermen in Ilaret, Marsabit, and you directed it to the Committee on Internal Security.
I remember that. Tongoyo? The question, a statement request from Nabuin?
I've not received yet from the ministry. I'm still following up.
When can you bring the response? Can you do next week?
Tuesday maybe, yes.
Honorable member, they'll bring a response on Tuesday next week.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. That's fine, well guided.
Yes, Honorable Undo. Give the...
Speaker, about when we resumed this session after the day never to forget.
The day not to remember, yes.
Never to forget. Chair, you directed a sub-question directed to the same committee in respect of a question I raised concerning transport facilitation for various Ngao and National Police Services officers in Funyula constituency. And I remember, Honorable Speaker, on that particular day, you asked the chair to make all urgent arrangements he can make to bring the statement, notwithstanding there is no substantive cabinet secretary, and you directed that since the PS is there and the entire state mandarins are still in office, they could prepare the statement and give it to him. Chair, is now, Speaker, is now almost 2 weeks down the line when it was supposed to be delivered. I'm just also perplexed and worried that nothing has come into the president in this house, and we could be again proceeding for another break. I do not know what I will tell my people in the constituency. Could you kindly, by virtue of the powers bestowed upon you, even if it doesn't appear in the standing order, but standing order number 1 and any part of the Constitution, plead with the chair to at least give me an answer to go and present, because the situation in the constituency is getting dire. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Was it security? First of all, the Speaker cannot plead with a member. The Speaker can only direct a member. Tongoyo, is that directed at you?
Yeah, it was, Honorable Speaker, and I haven't received the response as yet. In fact, there are quite a number in line that the PS he told me that he's working on them.
Yes.
Actually, there could be almost like 10 in number.
When can you bring Undo's?
Maybe let me do the next week. But I want to just add something, Honorable Speaker. You know, the issue of cars for the Ngawa officers and even our police officers, normally majority of them are the leased vehicles, which are done by the National Treasury. And for the last 2 financial years, we haven't gotten anything. I think there was some budget, which is in this current budget. And of course, there have been some court cases. So I think it's also good just to highlight members on that.
Thank you. But be that as it may, can you bring a response by Wednesday, morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon. Thank you. Next order. Yes, McLeod. Give Honorable McLeod.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether the chairman of security can handle a matter that has arisen yesterday night, where there is huge landslide that affected my constituency. The name of Simon Saraman and Simon Soy.
What is wrong with the mic? Can you give me the mic again? Can you change your location? There is one behind the deputy speaker that is on. There is a mic behind the deputy speaker that is on. Can you try that?
Yes, now it's better.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether it's the chairman of security that can handle this matter. Yesterday, there was a heavy downpour in Baringo North and in Baringo County.
Is that mic working? Give him another mic. Portable mic.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your indulgence. Yesterday night, there was a heavy downpour in Baringo, and specifically Baringo North, the Saimu Hills, Mr. Speaker, where there is huge landslide that was able to run over some families and households, killing people in 2 incidences and blocking roads. Just similar incident like almost that of Naivasha, but the magnitude is smaller. How can the emergency situation required so that we can restore order and accessibility of roads and the people who have suffered, Mr. Speaker? How can this be handled by the Minister of Security so that we have a multitask agency addressing the residents of Saimasoi and Saimau Saraman in Baringo North that are in dire consequence? They have no homes even now as we speak here.
I appreciate the urgency of the matter, but in the future, if you want to raise an urgent matter like that, you file a question by private notice, which must be presented within the same day and must be responded to within 48 hours. But having raised the matter, Honorable Tongoyo, can you check with your emergency services and see the veracity of the allegation and what you can do? Go on record.
Mike, please. Well guided, Honorable Speaker, I will. But I also want to add that such situations are normally also handled by State Department of Disaster Management, jointly coordinated by the Ministry of Interior.
Okay.
And kindly, if you
disaster management falls under which committee?
No. Disaster management is not in my committee.
Yes.
Is I think on Locha. It's not in my committee either.
Just deal with it.
But I will. Honorable Speaker, allow me just to mention something. You did instruct me to respond on the issue of the insecurity in Garissa.
Yes.
Which I was also supposed to bring the statement. But I want just to go on record. Yes. Taking into account the sensitivity of the issue, awaiting maybe the statement, I did organize a meeting between the members and the Director of Criminal Investigation. And I got the information that I think they have really covered a big ground and they have agreed on a raft of intervention, and which actually even being undertaken now in Garissa.
Okay. Who had requested for the statement?
I think Honorable a member for Garissa Town.
So,
and even the nominated member.
Can you bring a formal statement tomorrow?
I will.
Okay. Order. Hold on, Kirui. Yes, Honorable Pukose. Sergeant, can you ask the technicians to address these irritations?
Can you try the next one?
Give the mic to Honorable Pukosa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The issue which has been... Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand on the issue which has been raised by Honorable Makilap about the landslides in Baringo and more so in Baringo North. I think if it will help the member, because Honorable Tongoyo has committed that he will be able to follow it up. But you know, when he follows it up on verbally, it will not be acted on. And yet the people of Kipsaraman and those areas might be facing some challenges. Would I be in order, Honorable Speaker, that the clerk can assist Honorable Makilap to have something written so that Honorable Tongoyo can take it to the Ministry of Interior together with the disaster management so that he can be assisted. Because without any documentation, and now that this is on the Hansard, just on that strength that you've given direction, Honorable Speaker, I think that can be more effective so that he can be assisted.
Makilap, can you file your request for tomorrow afternoon?
Immediately, Mr. Speaker, because the situation is dire, I will immediately draft a letter so that we can be able, it can be received by the Speaker anytime from now, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so that. Next order.
Order number 8, the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2024, question to be put. Second reading, question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Member for Kisumu Town, take your seats. Honorable members, we will now put the question at order number 8, which is that the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2024, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Division of Revenue Act. Order number 9, motion, alteration of the calendar of the House.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 28.4, this House resolves to further alter its calendar as adopted on 14th February 2024 and amend on 25th and 26th June 2024 so as to A, commence its long recess on Friday, 16th August 2024, and B, resume its regular sittings for the third part of the third session on Tuesday, 17th September 2024. Honorable Speaker, we have to do this because we have important business that we must do next week. You know, we were supposed to proceed on recess tomorrow, but because of the business that is ahead of us, Honorable Speaker, then we propose that we extend by this 1 week so that we can finish that business and then proceed on recess. Honorable Speaker, this is very important because during the time that we had the issues, protests, we took a break earlier. So because of that, Honorable Speaker, I beg that this House joins me and agrees with me that we actually postpone the recess until next week so that we can finish. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you, and I want to request my friend here, also known as partner in crime, to support. To second.
Yes, Honorable Wamboka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to second what the majority side is asking. Indeed, we have a lot of business, crucial business in the House to conclude. and bearing in mind that we had to break early last session, so I second, so that the House can finish its business. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Meli, take your seat. Mark Clapp, take your seat. Osero, take your seat. Honorable members, I'll now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 28-4, this House resolves to further alter its calendar as adopted on 14th February 2024 and amended on 25th and 26th June 2024 so as to A, commence its long recess on Friday 16th August 2024 and B, resume its regular sittings for the third part of the third session on Tuesday 17th September 2024. Can we put the question? I'll now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 28-4, this House resolves to further alter its calendar as adopted on 14th February 2024 and amended on 25th and 26th June 2024 as follows. Commence its long recess on Friday 16th August 2024 and resume its regular sittings for the third part of the third session on Tuesday 17th September 2024. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Is the chair of Budget and Appropriations in the House? Who is handling the committee stage on appropriations? I don't want us to go into committee, then you get stuck. Order. Naisula, are you the vice? Are you? No, I think it is Mary Mase. Who is? Is she in the house? I have not seen Dindi Nyoro, is he? Leader of majority, can you approach the chair? Honorable members, I am advised that the committee has no amendments, and having no amendments, and because of the importance and urgency of finalizing with this bill for purposes of assisting our counties, I would direct that the